September 4th, 2006 was a devastating day for animal lovers and conservationists all over the world. On this day, the most popular animal advocate, Steve Irwin, known as the crocodile hunter, was tragically killed. As reported by biography.com, he was killed by a stingray off the coast of Port Douglas in Queensland, Australia. While I was only 11 years old, like many other kids my age, I can remember this day vividly. For most kids growing up in the early 2000s, Steve Irwin was like a father. His exciting television show on Animal Planet, The Crocodile Hunter, was constantly playing in family living rooms across the nation. Steve Irwin was a legend whose impact is still felt today. Before his untimely death, he was the face and owner of the Australian Zoo, where he would perform exciting shows with live audiences, and he also had a hit television series which became widely popular on an international level. With these two platforms, he was able to actively advocate for animal conservation on a massive scale. My entire childhood, I watched nearly every episode of The Crocodile Hunter. My childhood love has led me to research and evaluate the positive impact that Steve Irwin has had on the world. Steve Irwin's enthusiasm, dedication, and compassion for animals and the environment created an overall increase in knowledge, awareness, conservation, and love for global wildlife and their surrounding habitats. So today, we'll discuss Irwin's enthusiasm for animals and how he excited his viewers. Next, we'll evaluate his dedication to animal rescue and conservation and how he helped inform the population on these topics. And then finally, we'll discuss his intense compassion for animals and how this inspired all of his fans. So to begin, Irwin's explosive enthusiasm for animals certainly excited and drew in his viewers. What could be more entertaining than watching a quirky Australian man wrangle an 18-foot crocodile? Biography.com details the start of Irwin's The Crocodile Hunter, which first aired in 1992. The show started with Steve Irwin and his wife Terry as they documented their explorations in the Australian countryside. They documented their animal encounters while educating the viewers on the animals and their environment. The show included Irwin's risk-taking encounters with animals as he rescued and rehomed animals of all kinds. Fearless Irwin often found himself in riveting situations where he was forced to wrestle a giant anaconda or covered in poisonous spiders. The television show took off like a rocket in the sky when these breathtaking encounters sparked massive excitement for his viewers. Very soon, fans all over the globe of all ages and interests were tuning in daily to see what the crocodile hunter would get into that day. His playful personality and easy-to-understand commentary also appealed to children, which ignited curiosity for younger viewers. He created an environment where children growing up in the early 2000s had a desire to learn about animals and help save them as well. Viewers adored Steve Irwin and his quirky commentary, and his catchphrase, "Crikey," became a well-known exclamation in family homes across the nation. His enthusiasm displayed in his dangerous, daredevil, and deadly adventures made him one of the most famous environmentalists in the world. So now that we've discussed his contagious enthusiasm, let's evaluate how his dedication to animals helped saving animals helped excite his viewers. Steve Irwin's unbreakable dedication to animal rescue and the environment and environmental conservation led to widespread education and attention to these sensitive topics. Biography.com explains how Steve Irwin had a strong love for animals since a very young age. In fact, he worked with animals since a young boy at his family's wildlife park, which he would later rename and own the Australian Zoo. While he had no formal educational degree, Steve Irwin dedicated his life to helping save animals and the environment. He used his popular platforms to push for widespread awareness and education on important topics. In hopes to lead change, he often spoke out on television shows, on his own television show, and at his zoo against the dangers facing the animals. In addition to spreading education, Irwin used his dedication to establish the foundation Wildlife Warriors, which he donated over $1 million to. He constantly spoke out and advocated for other foundations, zoos, and sanctuaries dedicated to help save animals as well. Lastly, he would complete very dangerous rescue missions that could have killed him on many occasions. He had no fear when it came to saving animals. He was willing to risk his health and well-being in order to save any animal. So now that we've seen Irwin's Incredible enthusiasm and relentless dedication, let's take a look at how his passion inspired people. Steve Irwin's extreme passion for animals has inspired many of his viewers to develop a deep love for the animals as well. There is no doubt that Irwin has devoted love for animals, and it's apparent in everything that he does. From cute little koala bears to scary crocodiles, he treats them all as equals. After seeing him interact with and treat the animals as if they were human, it's impossible to not also fall in love with them. Steve Irwin would show the viewers the beauty and magnificence in every animal, so the viewer was left with a great understanding and a love for the animal. Through painting these compassionate images, fans were motivated to help save the animals as well. Also, by appealing to younger audiences, his show created an environment where children were able to develop this compassion from a very young age, which has inspired the upcoming generations to treat animals better overall. So let me end by saying this. Over 20 years later, Steve Irwin's influence continues to inspire people and conservationists all over the world. If not for his dynamite enthusiasm for animals and the environment, widespread excitement for nature would not have been developed amongst most people. If not for his concrete dedication to animal rescue and conservation, the general population would not be educated and informed on the threats facing nature and the animals. And if not for his deep passion for animals and the ecology, people would not feel such love and desire to help save the animals of the world. In fact, if not for Steve Irwin, there would be many animals that would have died from not being rescued, many foundations that would have failed without the sponsorship, and the entire ecology would be in much worse shape. As a generation raised on Irwin's show, we owe him much credit for all the inspiring work he did throughout his life. He ignited a passion for an entire generation that can be summed up in his own words. That's what we're all about. That's what we're up to, that's our game. And we'll die defending wildlife and wilderness areas. That is our passion.